Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, EQA Nostalgia here. So today I've got a couple of topics I wanted to bring to your attention. First of all, Capcom has shot itself in the foot once again. And also, the Resident Evil Outbreak servers are back online due to fan support, and they are only available by use of the Japanese console and a Japanese copy of the game, but you can get online with those games right now. So first off, what I mean by Capcom shooting itself in the foot is that they went on record to say that the reason why Resident Evil hasn't been successful lately is because their target audience has gotten older and they're just not playing the games. And basically, what it boils down to is they're blaming the fans. They're trying to say that we're outgrowing games, as if that is even possible. Do you outgrow movies? Can anybody? No, you don't fucking outgrow movies. Do you outgrow books? Do you stop reading books because you're a certain age? No. I don't know who the fuck they've got over there coming up with this shit, but dude, they completely fail to recognize their own market. They don't understand it at all. If they think that gamers just grow up and they're like, well, I don't play games anymore, I'm gonna put like it's a fucking toy, like it's a G.I. Joe toy or something, and they're like, well, I'm done with this and I'm gonna go do something else, and they have absolutely no grasp on the situation. They have absolutely no idea what's going on. Now, it's no secret that they're in financial dire straits. They're not doing well. They keep turning out titles, and nobody wants to play them. They tried to reimagine Devil May Cry, and it wasn't well received. They've reimagined Resident Evil, and it hasn't been well received. Now, Resident Evil 5 did sell well, but a lot of people looked at it like it's not really a Resident Evil game. As a matter of fact, I went on to tell people, and a lot of people have, that the Lost in Nightmares DLC was the best part of that game. And it was just kind of like a slap in the face because it was only about an hour long, but I loved it. It was actually a Resident Evil style game, or Resident Evil style content rather. I actually enjoyed it. And Resident Evil 6 came out, and I guess its sales were okay. It's just garbage. It's not Resident Evil. They don't understand that Resident Evil fans want survival horror. They don't want a Michael Bay action film. They don't understand. So it's our fault. We're getting old, guys. It's all our fault. And you know what? This isn't the first time they blame the gamers for this kind of shit. They blame the gamers for Mega Man Legends 3 not coming out. They said it was their fault. Now, I don't know the details about that. I'm not a big Mega Man fan. When I was a kid, I liked the games a lot. I played them a lot. But, you know, they were proven wrong with Mighty Number 9 when over $3 million was funded towards the Kickstarter on that project. And now we've got Shinji Mikami coming out with The Evil Within. We've got other independent studios like Crazen Studios. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You guys know how I am with pronouncing stuff. But they're coming out with I Infected, and that's going to be kind of like a Resident Evil Outbreak style game. There's still a market here, and they just don't recognize it. And, you know, they're not the only ones who don't recognize it. If you take a look at Sony and Zipper Interactive when they released SOCOM 4, I mean, you guys seen my SOCOM 4 RAM video. If you haven't seen that, you need to check it out. But anyway, I don't know who that game was directed towards, but it wasn't SOCOMers. The SOCOM community did not embrace that game, okay? So then what happened when that flopped? David Sears came out and he recognized it, and he made a Kickstarter for H-Hour. And for those of you who might not be aware, H-Hour is the spiritual successor to SOCOM 2. It successfully met its goal and its first stretch goal on Kickstarter, and it's being backed right now. I mean, even at this moment, there's more and more people pouring into that project and donating on their website. There's a market there, and when these big corporations don't see that, you know, the little guy is going to see that. And, you know, something that has dawned on me recently with all this shit, if you take a look at like Capcom and you know, Zipper Interactive and all these big companies, there's little people that make these games that you don't really hear about. There's creative directors and people like that you don't hear about. And these guys are the ones that are really the heart and soul of those games. I mean, I've said this 100 times before, but these developers, they've completely lost touch. You know, I mean, all they're seeing are dollar signs, and they just don't understand the community. They don't understand gamers at all. I mean, they just need a reality check. They need to come back down to earth. They need to hop on the forums and read what people are saying. You can't just sit in your corporate chair and look at the bottom line and that's it. So yeah, man, I mean, I'm going to be really surprised if Capcom is still around in a couple of years just because they just keep shooting themselves in the foot nonstop. It's a shame. I mean, because I got to be honest, they were my favorite developer when I was a kid, and for quite a while there, up until I don't know, probably my mid 20s or something like that, they were one of my favorite developers. They've come out with so many great games, but they've just made so many mistakes. And I noticed this a while ago. After Resident Evil 4 came out, I enjoyed that game, but I didn't think it should have been a Resident Evil title. I just didn't. I thought it was fun, but I was looking to the future, and I was like, what's going to come next? Have they completely forgot about their core audience? And then when Resident Evil 5 came out, I was just shaking my head. I was like, oh man, they just swept us under the rug completely, and it pissed me off. It really made me mad. I was sitting here, I was going, I've been a fan of you guys for so many years, and now it's just like you're saying, well, fuck you. You don't really matter anymore. We're going to go for a younger audience. That makes me feel like shit, man. I don't know how that makes you guys feel, but when they just completely turn their back on you, you've been a loyal customer since you were a kid. That pisses me off. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like they just can't accept failure. They can't accept that they made a mistake by making a game into something that it never was, completely tossing survival horror to the side and just saying, well, we're gonna go with something else. It's not their fault. It's our fault. So now they're playing the fucking blame game. Now, if you take a look at Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, it wasn't really well received. It's got its fans, but it wasn't really that well received. And if you take a look at Resident Evil Outbreak, it's got its fans, but it wasn't very well received. It was kind of a niche game. It was very difficult. You didn't have any voice chat, and that kind of turned people away. And it was just a hard game, man. It wasn't easy. But in 10 years, are you going to be seeing fan-made servers for Operation Raccoon City? I'd be really surprised. You know why I'd be surprised? Because I'm thinking that those kind of fans are going to be playing the new Call of Duty, or they're going to be playing the new flashy game of the month. They're not going to be die-hard fans. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But 10 years later, we've got a fan server right now that's running Resident Evil Outbreak File 1 and 2. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is, and Capcom just does not understand this. I mean, there were petitions going around to keep that game up and running, or to somehow release the server information to us so we can run it, and they didn't listen. We had fans wanting SOCOM 1 and 2 HD, and just begging for it. They've got like over 13,000 people who voted for SOCOM 2 in HD, and guess what? It didn't get fucking made, and it's probably never going to be made. You know when it'll be made? Maybe. When H-Hour takes off and it's extremely successful, then maybe. Maybe then Sony will listen, but by then it's just going to be too late. Nobody's going to fucking care anymore. So yeah, I mean, if you've got a Japanese console and you've got a Japanese copy of the game, you can play Resident Evil Outbreak right now. They've completely revived the servers, and I think that's awesome. That is dedication right there. And I'm going to put a link in the description to where you guys can check out the people who are behind that and find out how to get online. Now, I know there's a lot of you who are going, dude, I don't want to go out and buy a Japanese console and a Japanese game and yada yada. I don't want to do that either. I don't even know how to go about doing that. I guess maybe Amazon or eBay. I might do that, but, don't despair. They are looking into trying to get the North American servers up and European servers up as well. But there was a different host for the North American and European servers, and they don't have the information. So they're looking for the information. So if anybody has anything to that effect, then you definitely want to contact them. I'm not really tech savvy. I don't know how all that works. But apparently it involves packet sniffing for the servers. So there you have it. We've got some bad news and good news, and I decided to deliver the bad news first and get it out of the way. But yes, Resident Evil Outbreak fans, you should be very happy right now because there is a way to get online. So yeah, I mean, how's that for dedication, Capcom? More than a decade after this game came out, there's people that are still interested in playing it. They went out of their way to get it back up through packet sniffing and all sorts of other stuff that I can't even begin to understand. Not only that, but they're not done doing it either. They're still looking for ways to get the North American and European servers back up. That's dedication. Those are your fans right there. Those are the people you should be making video games for, not the fly-by-night Bieber crowd. And with that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, rate, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.
Now go. But just go.